What's up, family? Welcome back to a new video. And in today's video, we're covering my top 5 tips for you. If you're buying a new built home, yes, you need to know these tips through and through. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here on the channel, allow me to say hello. My name is Raymond Riley Jr., and I am a real estate broker here in Metro Atlanta. I work with buyers and sellers that are looking to relocate to the area, as well as buyers and sellers that are already here. So if you're already here in Metro Atlanta and you're looking to buy or sell real estate, please give me a phone call. All of my contact information is on the screen and can always be found in the video description below, as well as on the main channel page in the About Us section. You can also book a consultation with me directly there as well if you would like to work with me one-on-one. All right. And if you are a subscriber or a frequent viewer, thank you so much for coming back to the channel and joining me for this informative video. As I always tell you guys, this channel is all about the full knowledge of the metro area, as well as tips and tricks that you need to know about navigating real estate here in Atlanta. So I want you all to be able to advocate for yourself and have the understanding that's necessary to be successful as a buyer or a seller. All right. So let's get into the topic at hand, talking about the top 5 tips for those of you that are looking to buy new constructions this year and the year to come. All right. The first tip on my list is pretty simple, and that is incentives are mostly going to work for homes that are already standing or homes that are near completion. So when you're thinking about new construction and you're hearing all of those incentives, those special rates, those closing cost contributions that they're offering to buyers, 9 times out of 10, those incentives are going to be wrapped around those homes that can close within the next 45 to 60 days. So you're not going to get those incentives in most cases with building from dirt, where you are saying, hey, I want to make all of the decisions. I want to select all of the colors. I want to select the different cabinets. I want to do upgrades. You're not going to get those incentives with that type of phase or stage of construction. So just keep that in mind. So if you want those incentives, you need to be prepared to buy homes that are already in construction that can close within a reasonable amount of time per the builder. And again, we call them in the industry spec homes. Those are the homes that's typically going to get you those incentives. So this tip is to get you in the frame of mind of thinking that if you want the incentives, you need to be flexible on what you're going into the construction and wanting. You cannot go into the new construction community wanting to build from dirt and expect to get all of the incentives. All right. That should not be your expectation. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot find a builder that will offer you the incentives for a home out of the ground, like a dirt lot. Some may do, but the majority of them will definitely want the home to be a spec home where they have already started construction and they're willing to give those incentives to move that home to have it sold before it is completed. All right. That's tip number 1. Now let's move on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is simple, and most of you guys are going to do it anyway, but I want to point it out. Home inspections should be done on new builds as well. Okay. I have had several instances, transactions that have presented a finding on the inspection reports. There was some findings, there were some code violations, there were some concerns. And so you want to make sure that no matter if it's a brand new house or a resale home, that you're doing a home inspection, okay? It's fundamental. And so as the home buyer, you want to know what those issues are and you want to make sure that they are addressed before you close, okay? Now, there are some instances where there may be some amendments and some documented things and agreements that you can put in place to close if there are findings that have not been resolved prior to closing. But you want to make sure that you know and that the resolution is documented in it so that you will not have any issues with ensuring that those items are repaired by the builder. Yes, you have home warranties. That is true. But a home warranty is after the fact, right? And you are going to have to pretty much go through that process of, reporting it and showing that there's an issue and then going through the remedy of getting it repaired. Whereas you can bring that up before you close and hopefully get it repaired before you close is more optimal than having to deal with it after you've closed. And now the incentive to move quickly, the incentive to see that it is done becomes a little bit less, right? Home warranty companies are used to having a work order and going through the process and working through it, but you want to get that stuff addressed as quickly as possible. So always, always, always do a home inspection. Do not for 1 second think that the home will be perfect just because it's new. All right. Homes are built by humans, and humans make errors, and those errors could be, consequential depending on what those errors are. So always get that home inspection so that you can know the condition and know that everything is in order. All right. Moving on to tip number 3. This tip is pretty simple. I've said it in multiple videos that I've done here on the channel, and that tip is have your own agent. When you go into a new construction community as a buyer without an agent, understand that builder's agent does not work for you. All right. What does that mean more specifically? They do not have to tell you the truth. They do not have to think for you. If you don't know to ask the question, they don't have to bring it up. All right. They have no fiduciary obligation to you. So you want to make sure you have your agent that can tell you right from wrong, right? That can tell you what's, standard and what's not, what's appropriate, what they should do. And also you can have your agent correct the builder when they do something inappropriate, because the builders most of the time are not going to self-correct. If there is no other party, no other agent on the other side correcting those errors of that builder, and you do not know it is an error, then you're not going to be served, right? You're not going to be told the things that you do not know because they don't have to. All right. And honestly, if they do tell you what you do not know, if they're giving you recommendation on terms that you should present to the seller, and they haven't gotten any dual agency agreement signed, now that salesperson and that agent could be in violation of practicing or performing dual agency without proper disclosure. So they're not going to, work for you. All right. So always have your own agent. That's just like, going into court without an attorney and you do not know the statutes and the rules that you're trying to defend yourself against. So always have your own agent. All right. All right. Tip number 4 is pretty simple. Tip number 4 is the fact that the preferred lenders, to get those incentives, closing costs and lower special interest rates and things like that, are going to be wrapped around using the builder's preferred lender. So be ready for that. If you are all chummy and in love with Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or a certain credit union, you need to know that if you want these special incentives, that's going to be wrapped around you using their preferred lender. Now, why is that? It's pretty simple as to why this requirement is in place. And it is because they have a working relationship with these preferred lenders to ensure that their word is bond, right? If that preferred lender tells that builder this buyer is qualified, that builder is going to listen and they're going to take their word because they have a working relationship of trust with that lender. All right. Also, because it's scale, volume as well. So that lender is going to be more negotiable in striking business relationship deals with that builder in a sense of, buying down the rates and things of that nature, block rates, or, hey, I got, $100,000. I want to, have a, 30 homes to have special rates and, discounting the price for the special rates and their origination fees and things like that. That comes with that affiliated business relationship. All right. And so the byproduct of that is if you want to get those incentives, then you will need to use those lenders. Now, the lenders are competitive. It's not like it's going to be predatory where, your bank tells you 5.75% and the preferred lender tells you 9%, right? And crazy stuff like that. So it's not going to be a predatory type of comparison or decision. It's most of the time it's going to be right down the middle with what you would have been able to get from another lender anyway. So unless your father is the loan officer that you want to work with and you have a personal relationship or a personal responsibility to that person, then to me, truly, it does not make a whole lot of difference in the cost in most cases, especially when you add the incentive that you're getting. Even if the interest rate is 0.1 hundredth of a percent difference or something like that, that $20,000 in closing costs is definitely outweighs that difference in interest rates, right? So in most cases, using a preferred lender is always going to be in the best interest of you anyway. So it does make common sense to use their preferred lender. So just be ready if you're going to go into a new construction community and you see all these flashy incentives like closing costs and special interest rates. That is designed to be used in conjunction with their preferred lender. All right. So don't be surprised of that when you go inside. Now, I know some of you already have a lot of knowledge of buying a new build, but this video is designed for everybody. All right. So if I'm saying stuff that you already know, fine. Just let it be validation for you as you continue your journey. All right. I only got one more tip for you. And that tip number 5 is try to buy early in the new construction community. All right. New construction communities and the pricing change every 2 to 3 homes. Okay. So when they close 2 to 3 homes, they raise the price anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 base price. All right. So it's called forced equity. So there are a few reasons for you to want to buy early is the fact that obviously you'll get the lower entry point to get into the community, as well as on the other side of that, you're getting that forced equity, right? That forced appreciation based upon what the builders are charging the new buyers that are coming in. So if you have an opportunity to buy in a new construction community and you happen to find out about it pretty early on, and you're interested in the community, I would say try to buy early on than waiting till the community takes shape. And, there are 20 homes already built and 15 of those are sold. Now you're in the middle pricing point. A lot of buyers have fallen victim. I'm not going to say victim. I should say victim. Victim is a strong word. But a lot of buyers have found themselves on the shorter end of the stick, buying at the end of the development. And now you have paid the highest price to be in that neighborhood in most cases, especially if the market is still strong at that time. So where possible, buy early on into the new construction community. If you've learned anything from this video, hit the like button and drop a comment down below if you have more questions about buying new builds or the process of buying a new build. What does that look like? Feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll definitely answer those questions down there as quickly as I can. And if you need help buying a new build and you do not have your own agent and you would love to work with me, feel free to give me a phone call. All of my contact information is in front of you. Shoot me a text. We will get a consultation schedule and we will get started with understanding what your wants and needs are and going on that journey of home ownership. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you on the next upload. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're really thinking about learning more about Metro Atlanta and more about how to transact real estate here in the state of Georgia and the Metro Atlanta area. So yeah, more information to come, more videos to come. So I'll see you on the next upload. Peace.